So welcome, boys and girls, to episode 1 of the Ready Up podcast. I will be today's host. My name is Niall. Joining me is my co-host and compadre, Bobby. How you doing, Bobby?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm all good. Lots to talk about. What I'll do, just mainly for anyone listening, obviously you're going to be a first-time listener, it is a brand new weekly gaming podcast. Ready Up was an idea that me and Bobby had. Basically, what we want to do with the podcast is meet up every week, talk about what we're at, what we've been playing, and cover some weekly news in the world of gaming, followed by down the line, hopefully having some listener questions to delve in a bit more deeper and get an idea of kind of what our listeners want to know about us and any questions they have. Easy as. So to get started, Bobby, obviously it's now 2023, so happy new year to yourself.
Yep, happy new year, mate.
Happy new year. Hopefully a good year for gaming.
Should be.
We'll delve in obviously to a bit more about next year, or this year, sorry, and kind of what our hopes are very soon. But to give people a bit of an idea, what we're going to cover today is a bit more about us. Obviously it's the very first episode. Get a bit of an insight into what we played in the past, our favourite consoles, our favourite games, a bit more about what we're playing at the moment, and then looking forward into 2023 and everything that's going to be released in the coming year in terms of what we're excited for. So to get started, Bobby, I'll let you kind of take the reins for a bit. First question, Bobby, bit of background info. Tell us a bit more about yourself and your gaming history.
Gaming history. Probably earliest memory would probably be Super Nintendo and the Game Boy.
Was it a Christmas present or was that like handed down to you?
No idea. I think it was handed down to me. I think it was maybe my mom's partner at the time. Got it.
What year are we talking?
It was before the 2000s.
Before?
I know that.
It must have been way before. Like if you think about 2000s.
Oh, aye.
PlayStation was 2000?
Yeah, I remember getting the Game Boy. I would have been late 90s. I think I got it. Maybe mid to late 90s.
That would have been Game Boy Color then? Or the grey one you were saying?
No, it was the grey one.
Oh, Jesus.
Grey one with Tetris. And then I found Pokemon.
Interesting.
And unbelievable.
So your Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
You had a Super Nintendo. You thought it was from maybe your mum's boyfriend who gave it you. I'm guessing he gave you games with it, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
What games did you have?
Two that I remember the most, Super Mario World. And the other one would be Killer Instinct. And I can remember it was a big black cartridge for the Killer Instinct. I played the shit out of that. We used to go to the caravan, bring the Super Nintendo with us to the caravan. And I would have played it just flat out.
Super Mario World and Killer Instinct. And did you ever get any other games for your SNES?
I had another Mario one. I think it was maybe Super Mario All Stars. I think that was like a collection.
It was, yeah.
I've lost, yeah. I know. So there's Super Mario 3 and stuff on it. Doctor Mario maybe, and then there was some Time Machine Mario one on it.
You're very lucky.
I don't remember what it was called.
I was a bit neglected. So I grew up with a Sega Mega Drive. I don't know who owned it. I've never even asked my mum and dad or anything like that, but I have older brothers, so I'm guessing this was probably in the year, 1996, 1997. The games I had would have been Streets of Rage 1 and 2. You familiar with those, Bobby?
Played 4 on the Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the only one I know what they are, but that's probably the only one I've played personally.
Very good games back in the day, and you could have 2 players. And then from there, obviously, I had the likes of Sonic, which I liked, but the vibe that I got off playing Sega compared to the Nintendo, very, very different. Obviously, Sega appealed more to teenagers. My friend had a Nintendo and I was obsessed. I would go play Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and everything around at his house. So no, look, I envy you. See, if I grew up with a SNES, I would have had a much better childhood than fucking playing Sonic flat out. But no, so you had the SNES, you had the Game Boy, and what games did you have for the Game Boy?
Mostly Pokemon. There's a couple of Mario ones. Tetris was the first one I played.
Great game though.
It was a great game.
Phenomenal.
And then I think it went on to Pokemon Blue.
Was Pokemon Blue? They were obviously Game Boy Color games.
No.
They weren't?
No, they were original Game Boy games.
There was Game Boy Color versions, because I got Game Boy Color. It was the green one, but I got Pokemon Yellow with it. I didn't actually realize that you'd have Pokemon in the standard Game Boy version.
Yeah. So the way it worked is if you plugged them into the Game Boy Color, Pokemon Red, as far as no, it wasn't color. The Pokemon Red would have been like a red tint.
Ah, right.
And Blue would have been like a blue tint. And I think so. That's as much as I can remember, but I think that's the way it worked.
Right, okay. So let's walk forward. You had the SNES, then you got the Game Boy. What was the next then?
PlayStation 1. You probably know yourself as well. We used to have video shops in Crumlin. So you rented out and you could rent them. You actually go down and rent the console. So we rented it for a weekend. And to this day, I still don't know what the game is I was playing.
Tell me about it.
I can't even describe it. I really can't describe it. I don't even know what it is. It's in my head. I just can't say what it is. But anyway, played it all weekend. Came to the point where I had to go back that night. and I was fucking devastated, absolutely devastated. So I brought it back, and all I remember is waking up the next morning, and my mama went and bought me one, and I think it was Crash Bandicoot with it, and that's what introduced me into Crash Bandicoot.
Phenomenal.
And fucking fantastic, fucking fantastic.
And then any other games that stand out for you in the PlayStation 1?
Tomby.
Yeah, I remember it.
Remember that one? We fucking pink haired fucker. Not him. Yeah. Herc's Adventures. This is one that probably nobody fucking played. No. Another Hercules game. It's not Disney Hercules game. This is more like a top-down isometrical kind of game. You had Hercules. You had, what was Jason? He had like a catapult, like a fucking wee catapult with stone.
Jason Argonauts, not Jason Voorhees.
No, Jason Voorhees. So it was like a kid on it, and then there was third. I think it was like co-op you could do on it. I think the whole plot of it was Hades had kidnapped Persephone or someone like that there, and was causing shit. And then Zeus got you as Hercules to go and fuck him up. Basically, you just had to go through. You fought like all the mythical stuff, like the boar and things like that. That's probably one of my favorites of the PlayStation.
So it was more actual Hercules, not Disney Hercules then, yeah?
No, it was more Greek mythology Hercules, which I think is why I took to it more.
Yeah, mine's just more playing the Disney one. I remember my mum came home one day and handed me it, was obsessed. So I was very much a PS1 kid. It was Christmas, hiding under the bed, I found the PlayStation 1 console. I remember the black box. Had like the pictures on the back of the demo. It came with Tomb Raider 3, Crash Bandicoot 2, and Tekken 2. Phenomenal games, all of them. So how did you go about becoming an Xbot then? So anyone who doesn't realise this is Bobby is a huge fan of Phil Spencer and Xbox. He's
just a bit
an Xbot. Are you wearing your Xbox top by any chance here?
I'm actually wearing a PlayStation top, but I've got Xbox bottoms on. So I'm mixing it up.
So how did that change happen?
Do you know what? The console looked really cool, in my opinion. The big
original
green X. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what, and then the controller was so weird. I think that's what sort of gravitated me towards it. I think one of my mates might have got it first. We were playing Halo. I had no fucking idea what it was. But we're just going against each other, driving about the warthogs and stuff. And I was like, I'll get one of these. My mom got me one. I think it was one Christmas she got me one. KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, one of the fucking best games ever.
Yeah.
It was Xbox only. Halo. See, I'm not really big into Halo, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was more back in the day. Everybody playing it, so kind of the hype of it all. Nowadays, like I'm not a big Halo fan, but yeah, it was mainly just the look of it. I thought it looked cool as fuck. I was different. It was a new console.
So why the huge loyalty these days? Deaf to Sony, as you would put it.
Nah, come on, 360. Everybody had a 360. 360 is probably one of the best generation of games. I think game consoles.
That was going to be my next question.
I remember.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's
to kind of give you a bit of background. Anyone who's listening, I would be very much a PlayStation fan.
Pony
to a certain degree, I guess. I like their first party games. Xbox I like as well, but I've always been PlayStation. I did have a PS3, unfortunately, but I also had a 360. So I'll say, like that generation, Xbox far and ahead of PlayStation. Obviously, apart from 100%. A few standout exclusives. So what would you say, honestly, if we were to kind of actually break it down, what is the best generation in your opinion? So Xbox 360, PS3, that type of generation to you is the best?
I would say so, because that was kind of when we were growing up. We were at that age. We would have been what, teens?
Yeah,
early teens into the later teens.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of one that sticks with me. Obviously, the Xbox One generation was a fucking flop at the start, and that kind of just continued on right until near enough the end, until Phil took over.
I remember it.
But yeah, probably the 360. I just remember loads of nights playing COD, playing Left 4 Dead, just with your mates sitting up to fucking all sorts of times in the morning playing it. The PlayStation, the PS3, I never actually owned one. Did later when I had enough money to buy one myself, but I never got one when I was younger because it was too dear. There was a big price gap between the PS3 and the 360. I could only choose one.
Arcade edition you had, didn't you?
At the start, I had a lot of 360s.
Yeah, because I can remember my friend, I went up to his, we were basically out shopping. His mum got on the arcade edition. He got Saints Row 1, I believe, and Lego Star Wars. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if this was around the launch, but it was probably around 2006. I think it came out here, 2005, maybe?
It did, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember him getting that. But to give you an idea, look, is it nostalgia that's making you think that was the best console, or do you actually feel 100%. Like that was?
No, 100%. I think at the time, just the nostalgia is probably kicking in, but the new consoles are fantastic.
I think already the new consoles blow
100%, but I think it's more nostalgia for the older stuff.
With PS4, I have a lot of problems with personally because I went PC gaming and then going to 30 FPS, there's just no hope, so it ruined everything on that console for me. Exclusive wise, Last of Us 2, great. God of War 2018, fantastic. Got obviously Ragnarok was also on that, but you've then got Uncharted. But I think honestly, if we're trying to look, I would probably say, you're probably talking to maybe the 360 as one of the best consoles of all time, just in terms of internet was there. You were playing online. So look, anyone who's listening, if you disagree or you want to put in any thoughts on that, we can obviously delve deeper and maybe do a whole topic around that. But for now, personally, I think these generations of consoles is far and above best things going, even in terms of their games. That's already kind of came out very impressive. So fuck knows what they're going to look like in the future if this is what they're at now. So moving on from there, what is a few of the genres that you personally enjoy, Bobby?
Shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's probably because I'm good at them. I haven't played a shooter that I'm not good at, apart from Valorant, because I have to use a keyboard and mouse.
Real shooter.
Yeah. I just grown up with Call of Duty, Left 4 Dead, Gears of War. I know it's not a first person shooter, but still a shooter. Grew up on it playing that. Battlefield, not too keen on Battlefield.
Yeah.
Always been more of a COD guy. But I've sunk hours and hours into COD Zombies like in the 360. So probably shooters would probably be my main go-to.
So what else? Because you've also played, I can see here, I did read through a bit of your notes. Roguelikes.
That's quite new.
There. Yeah, so it's very new from what I know anyway. I'm guessing
very
Hades.
New. And it was Hades. It was you that told me to try it. And tried it on Game Pass. And I think it was fucking hooked straight away. I got like an hour in, and that was me. And I played it until I beat it. I didn't know that. I like doing that, being punished.
I'll get to that in a second or in a bit, but I think there's a reason for that. It's the same thing with Elden Ring. You know, actually, I'll just talk it now. See, when you're playing a game, I think it's something that when I get into what I'm playing, it's something that's actually come back to. A lot of days now, you know, you play a game and you have so much checkpoints, so you don't actually feel like you're getting better. You're just beating the boss finally because you're doing it that many times. But if you think about even the likes of Hades, you're learning that game properly. Like you're just straight back from the start every time. So by the time you're 40 hours into that, the amount that you've actually came on and learned from that game is insane. I think a lot of games don't have that anymore. A lot of games are just easy mode, blast through.
You're learning your enemies' movements every single time, and then when you get to a new biome, there's new enemies, different movements you have to learn, and then you'll get killed over and over again until you get them. And then obviously the boss battles, they'll have different move patterns.
But that's what's enjoying.
And yeah, I think that's what it is.
That's what you'll
learn it, and then there could be a boss you're stuck on for a couple of hours, and it finally clicks.
I think for you, Bobby, you would really like Sifu.
I know I would. I just haven't picked it up yet.
I do think you really like it. It's gameplay and it's roguelike to a certain degree. Essentially it is, yeah, anyway. So no. Anything else? Roguelike? Got shooters? Anything you want to put in?
Like the co-op 4-player style shooters like Left 4 Dead and stuff like that there, I fucking love them.
Yeah.
You get on with, especially if you have a full squad of 4. Like Left 4 Dead, Evolve was hated by fucking loads of people, but I think I have over 200 hours in it. Simply because it's just sitting with your mates and it's like 4v1. Or if I got to be the monster, it was me against another 4 boys. I kind of like that wee bit of competition in it. Back 4 Blood as well. Played it.
Did you like Back 4 Blood?
Yeah, it's a lot harder than Left 4 Dead though. It's different.
Yeah, it's very polarizing. There were a lot of people. I didn't put too much into it. I tried it, but I've seen a lot of people being a bit down on it.
I picked it up at launch. I fell off of it. It was quite hard. Then we actually went back on it there on Halloween, beat it. But it's good. It's not Left 4 Dead.
Turtle Rock, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same people that done it, like, but it's just that they obviously can't use the name Valve owns it, so, and they can't copy it exactly, copy and paste. But games like that, I love them kind of games. And then also like Telltale style.
Yes.
Just when you can just kind of sit back and stick it on for a couple of hours and just click buttons, just make choices.
Yeah, so Detroit Become Human and things like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I had that there, and all the Telltale stuff, Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us are all fucking fantastic.
Well, personally myself, I would play, I've noted three down, so Metroidvanias. Have you ever played much Metroidvanias yourself?
Just games with like elements of Metroidvanias, like God of War and stuff.
Yeah, to a degree. You would actually, one of the ones that you probably played and you didn't realize, Arkham Asylum, very much a Metroidvania.
A Metroidvania is basically anything where you go and you have an area and you maybe can't reach something because you need something else, and you have to just kind of look back, isn't it? Something like that.
So areas of the map are inaccessible until you get gear later on that allows you to access it. It's just very fun.
There's quite a lot of games like that and you don't even realize.
So this year I did finish Hollow Knight, which is massively praised, and then I'm excited because Silksong's coming out this year. I think it's Silksong, that's what it's called. That's coming. That's an Xbox Game Pass one, so I'll give that a blast. But the best ones you can play, and I think you can buy these on the next gen consoles anyway, and at least last gen, so you can play them on both anyway. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You ever give that a go?
Never touched Castlevania at all.
Fantastic game. So you've got that. You've got Ori. They're Metroidvanias.
I'll play them.
Have you not? An Xbox hasn't played Ori? Madness.
It doesn't look like it's something that appeals to me, but then it might.
Yeah, maybe. But it's gameplay. So if you like games just to play them and get sunk in, Metroidvania are fantastic for that. I then wrote down RPGs, so I'm a massive Final Fantasy nerd, mainly the older Final Fantasies rather than the newer. But even from there, I would then move into more like horror games, which I know you don't like because you're terrified of fucking everything.
I want to like them because I mean, horror is my favorite movie genre. But it's them see them games that you're getting chased,
yeah,
and you can't do fuck all. You just have to run. Like I beat Outlast, which is pretty much all. That's all it is. You're just running and hiding.
Fuck here. Resident Evil 2 remake. Did you play that?
I tried it, but I don't like the gameplay.
Right. Well, you get chased in that, and I tell you what, it's fucking terrifying because you can hear his footsteps above you and everything.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah. And see, to be fair, when I was playing games younger, Resident Evil 3, as soon as fucking Nemesis appeared, nearly shit myself. But that's classic games for you, and I will get into that in a second. So, look, moving in, that's just a bit of background on obviously me and Bobby and kind of what we do play and what we enjoy and a bit more about a history. What we're going to do is basically get into this show a bit more. So what I'm going to do, Bobby, I'm going to ask you a bit more about what you played, and then I'm going to ask you a few follow-up questions before we get into the main topic of 2022. Or free, sorry, fuck.
2023, it's going to get hard trying to say that.
I know. I'm already tripping up. So tell me, so to give people a bit of background here, I had asked Bobby to play Uncharted 4 or Sekiro. I says, look, give it 2 hours. If you get bored after 2 hours, give it up. Now, he has played something. I don't know if it was one of these two. I'm hoping. What have you been playing?
I have played neither of them.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I played Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Why?
Because
Why?
I feel like I would be missing out by playing 4 and not the first 3, so I went for Lost Legacy.
But you're almost kind of missing out as well. You don't. I get where your mindsets come from there. Not to say that word again.
It's kind of a spin-off. That's what I wanted to see, just what kind of game Uncharted is and the gameplay. I think if I wanted to do 4, I might want to do the first 3 first.
I get the thought process. So Lost Legacy, though, it depends how far you got. It does open up, and it's a lot different than 4 and the rest.
I'm in the open bit, I think.
Yeah, that's totally different than what you'll really get in a lot of Uncharted. Now, there is a tiny bit of Uncharted 4 that's slightly open, but apart from that, it's a lot more linear.
And that's the exact reason why I stopped, because I don't know if I want like a big open game at the minute.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So I've got to the point where we've got into like the jungle bit.
Yeah.
The Indian jungle bit. And I think I've done the first kind of bit where you get the water flowing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I've done that bit, and then that's where I stopped. It was about 1.5, 2 hours in.
What's your thoughts so far?
I'm liking it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good. I actually think the combat's better than The Last of Us, because I don't like The Last of Us combat.
I agree.
It's similar, but I feel like it's better. I feel like the shooting's slightly better. The movement's a lot better as well. But then obviously you're being more kind of, what's the word for it? They're different people. You have more reflexes and things like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's stunning. I'm playing 120 on the PS5. That's a fucking good looking game.
It is a good looking game, isn't it?
I will get back to it, and I might even get back to it this week.
It makes sense to blast it because actually those characters appear in other Uncharted games, which is, to be fair, if you're going to play them, they are great. That opening section where is it India where you start off?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're on the rooftops.
And on the rooftops and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's class.
Phenomenal. Mate, you'll love
really,
honestly.
Really good.
Uncharted 4 is fucking amazing. Uncharted 1, I actually replayed 1 right after I beat the collection that released last January. It holds up okay. They're short games, like you can beat them in 8 to 12 hours. If I was you, I would replay them, because it might be the case of what happened with God of War, where you played one of them and then went back and finished the rest of them. Like you finished 3 and then obviously went back and played 1 and 2. So yeah, it's like me with Devil May Cry. I obviously went and started playing the older ones. So Uncharted, you will pick it up though and finish it?
Possibly even this week.
Okay, it's only like 6 hours. You'll blast it?
Yeah. I think the main reason is I didn't do 4 was because I know I'm probably going to like it. I'll probably want to do 1, 2, and 3, so I may as well just do it in order.
I think that could possibly be your favorite franchise out of PlayStation, personally, honestly.
It's not going to beat God of War.
It beats God of War, in my opinion,
but for me, it's not. It couldn't beat God of War for me.
Well, there you are. Anything else you've been playing? I know you have here in your notes a little Xbox game.
Started high on life. I've got up to the bit where I've beat the first boss, and I'm on kind of the second area. It's good, funny. I've never watched Rick and Morty before.
So this is good because I've not really watched much about it, and I get I've seen some clips. I know a few people are playing it. Haven't delved in myself. What's the premise? What's it actually about?
Pretty much, you start off, aliens pretty much invade your home and start kidnapping humans. One of the aliens dies. You go over to his body. It's still talking. It's not actually him. It's his gun. And then you get the gun. You basically teleport to like another alien kind of planet, kind of like a hub maybe, and you have to go and do bounties. And that's all I know so far.
Right.
but it's funny.
Yeah,
Have
the
you
gun
seen Rick and
screaming and
Morty?
everything, isn't it? I've seen clips. It's not for me. I'll be honest.
Right. I haven't watched Rick and Morty at all, so I don't know what kind of humor I was going into, but it's my kind of humor. It's rude. I
Yeah.
like it. It'll shout at you for pausing the game.
Oh, maybe I will like it.
You pause the game. I think I paused the game at the start to fucking lift my phone up or something and do something. And as soon as I unpaused it, the gun was like, "What the fuck? Why are you pausing here?" Because it was like mid action.
You're playing on Xbox, yeah?
I started on PC, and I was maxed out everything, 144, fucking sexy. And then tried to go on the console there yesterday. I couldn't do it.
What's wrong? I've heard some people saying it's not great on console.
I think no, it's great on console, but I think it's just the 60. I think I was playing at like such high frames and high graphics that you can notice, and even though the TV's an OLED, like you can notice the difference, the drop. So I'm probably just going to pick it up on PC again.
Yeah, that's the problem with having a PC. Sometimes you'll go to the 60 and be like, oh, what?
It ruins you. It absolutely ruins you.
But it's just cumbersome.
Not in the good way. Ruins you in a fucking bad way.
So that High on Life, early impressions, so like already, was the gunplay like? Are you a big fan?
The gunplay's good. The gunplay's good, and I think it's a Metroidvania as well.
Oh, is it?
Metroidvania.
That picks my interest. Who's the dev?
Squanch Games.
Never heard of them.
It's your man that made Mick and Brody. It's his studio.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's done a couple. I think he's done a couple of VR games, like Over Sames Universe, something like that, on the PSVR.
And then there's an actual Rick and Morty game as well.
Is that the VR one?
Yeah.
But it's good. Like the gunplay is good, and you're unlocking more. This kind of changing up the gunplay and changing up the movement and stuff. So, and I'm only like a fucking maybe 2 hours in, but I'm enjoying it.
How long is it? Do you know?
I don't think it's long. I think it's maybe 9-10 hours. You just split it.
Yeah. So what I'll actually talk about more what I was playing and finished. First game finished of 2023. Devil May Cry. To give you a bit of background, I was bored on Saturday. I have a lot to play, but it's kind of one of those moods where I'm like, you're starting things and you're kind of like, oh, couldn't be fucked. So I seen online, I was reading kind of what games to play for gameplay, because sometimes I'm in the mood where I don't really care about reading story or watching anything story-wise. I just want a good game to play. Yeah. Devil May Cry came up and Dragon's Dogma. So I looked into it. Devil May Cry 5 was on offer on Xbox. I think it was like £17. It's 120 FPS as well. So I went, okay, right, I'll buy it. Started it. And I was like, you know what? I should probably play the rest because I do have them and I bought them recently. A few years back. Now, my history with it, I have played DMC 1. I must have played it back in secondary school because some parts were still kind of fresh to me. And then I had beaten the DMC remake that was made by Platinum. So, have you ever played any DMC games yourself?
Played them on the PS2. I have no memory of them. I just remember playing them. And then I've beat 4 on the PS3. Okay,
so bought 4 again. That was on offer there. So, what's interesting about it is the first Devil May Cry was going to be Resident Evil 4. I believe that's fact. And then they've changed it up. So it was made by a guy. Well, actually, I don't know if it's made by this guy, but the guy who made at least, I think he was maybe director on 3 and 4 and the rest of them, he made Dragon's Dogma as well. So it's kind of like I'm playing these two games that have some synergy between them. I'll say this about it. See, with Devil May Cry 1, it is just a classic game. When you play it, it's mission 1, mission 2, and so on. And it's fucking hard because if you die, you just start the mission again. You have little orbs, but it's very brutal on that. But I'll tell you what.
Just from the start of the level again?
Well, yeah, but you can get these orbs, so then it can bring you back to you can bring you back from the nearest area, but you only get so much of it. But it is proper, like, classical games when you used to play because it's fucking difficult and you have to learn the game. And I died a good bit as well, but it's fucking class. So, starts off, he owns a shop called Devil May Cry. Okay? He is the son of Sparta, who is like a fucking demon. Story's a bit nuts, but you end up meeting this woman, and she brings you to this castle where someone called, I'm going to butcher this, Munden or something. He's basically a demon trying to come back. You go to this castle, and it just feels like Resident Evil in a way because the way the camera moves, it's not great. It basically it follows you about. You don't have kind of control of it, but then you go through the doors and it's just classic Resident Evil style. I honestly believe you should play it. I think you will really love it, especially because you love the original God of Wars. That style of game's just completely missing. It's just, well, it's evolved now. Obviously you have DMC5, which I haven't played, so other than a wee bit at the start, so I'm interested to see how that goes. But see, with this, there's just nothing better, mate, than just mindlessly playing a game, and it's like.
See, I was looking at them earlier on the store because I know you mentioned it to me, and that's actually the vibe that I got. It was like old school God of War, hack and slash. It looks good. The gameplay looks. I watched the trailer for 5 as well. The gameplay looks phenomenal.
5 looks fucking amazing. You should see the bit.
It looks insane.
Yeah, the Series X version's phenomenal looking. The quality of the graphics as well. But I was like, okay, well, the HD collection that came out in 2018 has DMC 1, 2, and 3. So it beat 1. Very limited. Like, you don't have a lot of moves. It's basically press Y to attack, really, and there's a few other things you can do. Everyone said to skip 2. This is fucking abysmal. Gameplay's shite and the story's pointless. There's no reference to it or anything like that. And everyone kept saying that, so I skipped it. Then 3 is just phenomenal from what I'm playing. So in terms of that, like, I think for someone like yourself who likes God of War, it's right up your alley. And it's Capcom. They're fucking flying these days anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And there will be a 6. So no, I'm going to play through 3. I've maybe put in about 3 hours on that. And then I'll probably talk a bit more about that next week. And hopefully I'll be on DMC4, at least beat it by then. But I think with yourself, mate, honestly, I think you should give it a go.
I think I might. I think it's off sale tonight. I think it's the days of last sale of it. So
it is.
I might pick it up after.
You've the Miller year minted. Dragon's Dogma. You've never heard of this, then? No?
I've heard of it. I have no idea what it is. I know the name. So hit me with it.
Okay, I bought it on PC in 2016. And similar to what I said to you and Brett the other night must have been in the right mood set, because I played it and thought, this is shit, I'm turning it off. So the guy who made the Devil May Cry games made this. I believe it was after 4. It's a Japanese RPG trying to imitate a Western RPG. Feels a lot like Dark Souls with a mixture of Monster Hunter in terms of how it feels in a way, and Shadow of the Colossus. So it's very fucking cool. So essentially what happens, it's it kind of go in the story. You're the Dark Arisen. I don't think the story's too important in this, but you kill dragons. But the whole thing is, at the start, you're going through this kind of dungeon with people called pawns, and these are like NPCs that you can recruit from other players. So for example, you can create an NPC, Bobby, and you can name him and you can have him a certain build, but then other people can recruit him. So I'm not too big a fan on that, but anyway, you're going through this starting area, and then there's a chimera, which you might be familiar with. I think they're maybe in God of War, where it's like a fucking goat, snake, and a lion all in one. You can fucking climb the lion, and then you can climb heads and stuff and attack them. Like, have you ever played Shadow Colossus?
No.
Right, so Shadow of Colossus, what you can actually do is you're fighting these massive, massive beasts, but you jump and press R2, and you can hold on to them, and you have a stamina meter. You're basically climbing these monsters and hitting certain aspects of them. So it feels a lot like Dark Souls, but you can then climb these big monsters. And for example, I'm climbing this chimera and I'm killing the snake first, and you're just basically crawling along it. It's fucking phenomenal in terms of the gameplay. So the second's just announced. That was announced last year. So I think, see, in terms of being their first RPG, I would be interested to see what they come up with next. So there was an area in it after the starting area where there was a dungeon. I was just doing like a side quest, done the mission, and then the dungeon kept going. So I kept going, and then there was like loads of NPCs starting to attack me. So I backtracked, and about an hour later, I do another mission. I'm down the other dungeon, kill these guys, and then I keep walking, and I'm thinking, this is that place I was at earlier, sorry. So even though it's like far away, all the maps like Dark Souls where it's intertwined in a way.
Yeah.
But it's like zone-based / open world. So I'm going to keep playing that. I haven't put into too much, but everywhere that I was seeing was kind of bigging up as an underrated gem. So if that was their first kind of go at an RPG, I would be interested to see what their second's going to be like, because if you think about The Witcher 1 and 2, great games, but compared to when The Witcher 3 came out, the fucking quality then just fucking took off. So no.
Are you playing this on the Series X?
Bought it in the Series X. It was £2. It was 30 FPS, 1080p. So I thought,
no then.
4K, 150 FPS on my LG TV upstairs. Fantastic.
Nice.
It's actually amazing. I'm really interested to keep playing it. But then I have Devil May Cry there as well, so I was trying to balance the two because it is kind of a hefty game, I believe. It's probably about 40 hours. But I do think the second's going to be big. Yeah. So no, that's covering it. So continue with Lost Legacy. Next week, let me know what you think. And if you beat Lost Legacy and you enjoy it, then you can go on a kind of a history of Naughty Dog, play 1, 2, 3, then 4. I think you'll love them, to be honest. So what we'll do, we'll move on. I have 2 questions for you, and then we'll get into 2023.
Okay.
Top 3 favorite games of all time.
KOTOR.
Oh, right.
The original Xbox. Already mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking phenomenal. What else?
Does it hold up
on the Switch?
Yeah,
because they've done the remakes, the remasters really on the Switch. It's fantastic on the Switch.
I played them. Well, tried to play them. Very dated.
They are dated.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's the whole turn-based kind of combat, and which I like. But no, it holds up on the Switch.
Not 2. Does 2 hold up?
Two's out on the Switch. I haven't played it yet.
You've never played 2?
No, I've played 2. I've beat 2, but I haven't played it recently.
Right.
I have it on the Xbox, but it's not great. So I think if I wanted to pick that up, I'd probably pick it up on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. So Knights of the Old Republic 1 and
Left 4 Dead 2.
Okay.
That's be another one. Simply because I just played the shit out of it on the 360 with all my mates, staying up every night playing it.
Mm-hmm.
That holds a special place. These aren't games that are like, but I'm saying are the best games.
Yeah.
Like it's just top 3 that sort of resonate with me, and the third one would probably have to be God of War 3.
God of War 3 over Ragnarok?
Once again, this is just personal. It's not the best games. If I was to say what the best God of War is, it would be Ragnarok. But 3's
fantastic.
I think it was just because it was my first, and I had no clue what I was getting into.
3 is fantastic.
I started it, and then you're climbing up the fucking Titan's back. That's how it starts. You're attacking Olympus, and I was like, holy shit, what is this?
Yeah, I was thinking about that game today. Devil May Cry 3 has that kind of you're in a tower. You have to kind of make your way from the bottom of the tower to the top. And I was thinking, this reminds me of God of War 3 when you're at the bottom of the fucking, I forget where it is, but you're in the fucking, is it the Lake of Souls? And then you have to actually make your way up, where you're in hell.
That would be after the fight Gaia.
You get knocked off.
And you get knocked down.
I love that kind of approach. It's like, do you watch the Dread movie?
The latest one?
Yeah, the 2012 Dread movie. Yeah, it's kind of the approach of we have to get to the
That's good.
Kind of working your way up from the bottom.
Yeah, I like that.
That's phenomenal. I agree. I think actually God of War 3 is fucking amazing. I actually might play it again after the DMC games because I'm in that kind of mood. But my 3, there's a few missing, so notable exceptions. Metal Gear series, which Bobby hasn't played, which is a fucking disgrace. I don't know how you've went your life without playing Metal Gear. Kingdom Hearts 1, that is mainly just for nostalgia, but I do love it. So top 3 games, Final Fantasy 7. What's your thoughts on Final Fantasy?
I've never played them. I tried the remake and it wasn't for me.
See, as a kid, any time you mentioned Final Fantasy to someone, they were almost like fuck away off that game shite. Like people hated it without even knowing it. Just because
that's probably the way I would have seen it.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's just the look of it. It's very like fucking geeky, if that's what you want to call it. Like all the nerds in school probably would have liked that.
There's a man with a Goku tattoo.
Yes. I know I'm a nerd, like, but they were like the real fucking nerds with the bowl cuts and stuff.
Oh, the bowl cut nerds.
Yeah, they were the kind of. But then see now that you've been telling me that the old ones are like turn based.
Yeah.
That's kind of interested me.
Oh, mate, they're fantastic. See, 7, 8, 9. Well, 6, 7, 8, 9. All absolutely fucking phenomenal. Like 7 remake's okay, it's good, but 7, classic 7's just phenomenal. But it is, you need to kind of give it a go because it looks like Lego these days. It looked like Lego when I played it in 2003, but I did laugh at the start. But I give it a go. And it's fucking phenomenal. Next up, Dark Souls. So this is a game that you actually tried recently. What's your thoughts on Dark Souls?
It was hard for me to go and play Dark Souls after playing Elden Ring. It's a lot slower.
Yeah.
Compared to Elden Ring, I was used to fucking being able to jump I know you can jump in Dark Souls, you have to run and then do it, but a lot more slower.
Yeah.
Combat's a lot more slower, more heavy, it seems. But I played it, I got a good bit into it, and I just bounced off it. But I actually installed it today along with Sekiro.
Mate, Dark Souls is probably the best designed game in terms of world design I've ever played. Everywhere in that game is interwoven. Like from the starting area, the Firelink Shrine, you can die in a place called Blighttown, and then below that I think it's the Depths or something. You can die below Blighttown, and if you go to the starting area and you have a telescope, you can actually look, or binoculars, you can look and see your souls, like the wee green shine.
Yeah.
The whole game is like that. Like I remember the first time playing it, I played for 2 hours, went up this cathedral, and then I went on a fucking elevator and you go down, and I was like, this is Firelink Shrine, this is the starting area. And see, once that happened and it clicked, I was all in. Absolutely phenomenal, mate. Every piece of that game is just fucking meticulously crafted. I'm a huge fan. That's probably, in terms of gameplay, I'd say it's one of the best games of all time. Not just for me, just in general. Obviously, they've improved some things, Elden Ring style, but phenomenal. And then last but not least, I'm not going to get into too much detail, Witcher 3, recently, only because 140 hours. I just loved it. I've talked about it too many times, obviously not in this podcast, but I think it's a game that is perfect in terms of being an open world RPG and what I want from them. Very much story based. I do think there's problems obviously with the combat. It doesn't hold up too well. But apart from that, that would be my 3 games that I would say are personal favorites. Notable shout outs as well. Call of Duty 2, PC. Love it. Anything in you want to add?
No, I'll just fucking second that there. One time, I remember, was it Big O's?
Big O's,
We used to go down and play that. That was Call of Duty 2, wasn't it? We would have played.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. And that was on keyboard and mouse too, wasn't it?
Yeah, the reason that actually hooked me, shortly after that, maybe 2 years after Big O's, or a year at least, that's when everyone started playing online with a 360. It was almost like the gateway to online gaming. So everyone had it with Modern Warfare, but I had it with Call of Duty 2s with when I got my PC. So it almost was like, okay, I'm a year ahead, and then that was what I was obsessed with. So no, but absolutely phenomenal game. Still holds up. I still play it, to be honest with you. So what we'll do, we'll move into the next topic, which will be the main topic of this show. Bobby, what are you most excited or optimistic for in 2023? Let's discuss.
Well, coming from the Xbox fan, I'm actually going to kick it off with PlayStation. And I am really excited for the PSVR 2.
I agree.
I have it pre-ordered. I'm ready to roll. I don't know what games I'm going to play. Probably The Walking Dead.
Looks good.
The zombies. Horizon, no, because I haven't played the other game, so I don't really have a attachment to that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for all the tech that's in it.
What's your history with VR?
Phenomenal. Not much at all, actually. Played PSVR 1.
Okay.
But I didn't play much of it. Tried Resident Evil 7, shit myself. So I didn't play that again. I played that wee Astrobot one. Astrobot Rescue Mission, was it?
Yeah, it was. The VR, horror games and VR's terrifying, no matter what you play.
Resi 7, like, it's insane on VR. But no, I don't have too much history with it, but I think that's why I'm excited for it. To get my hands on something, and I know it's a good bit of tech, like all the eye tracking and all they have in it, and the what do you call the wee hand controllers that you get with it? They have a name for them.
Oh, do they?
It's dual something.
Actually, I didn't know they have a name for it. I know obviously what's in it.
They have a name for them, but I think it has the same tech as the controller.
It does.
So if they can pull some stuff off like that there that they have with the controller, that's going to be really cool.
So VR for me, I remember years ago following VR, actually before Oculus was purchased by Facebook. So I was always following it. And I remember when a guy in my work, now I used to work obviously in Game, which is a UK kind of GameStop store. I remember a guy who I work with had the dev kit for the Oculus, and everyone said it was amazing, but it had a glass door effect, or a screen door effect. It was blurry. And then I remember us getting the Oculus One in. I don't think it was called. It was just the Oculus Rift, and it came with like Super Lucky's tail. So my first actual chance of trying VR was when the PSVR came out. We actually opened up one in work and went upstairs and tried it. It blew me away, but it was so fucking. Oh, it was a mess. See, for VR, mate, the way you needed the camera. Did you have the VR PSVR one?
Yeah.
Oh my
It was
god!
a fucking nightmare.
Oh, absolute
nightmare.
It was great in terms of just having that.
There was just too many wires, and then whenever I upgraded to the PS4 Pro, if you wanted to play it, and you couldn't have it connected all the time, because if you connected it, then you lose your 4K.
HDR pass through as well, yeah.
Yeah, so you had to constantly disconnect it and put it back in again if that's what you wanted. So this is just a single cable, the PSVR 2, into the USB-C. So obviously everybody wanted no cable, but you're getting most of the power coming from the PlayStation.
I have good history with it. Like, so I had the PSVR. I played Batman Arkham, the Arkham VR, which was actually very good. I also played like Rush of Blood and stuff. That was amazing. And then a few years later, I got the Oculus Rift S for the PC, which fucking blew me away. Inside out tracking, so there was no camera needed. It attached to your PC, but it was light as well. So it was absolutely phenomenal. And then I got the Quest one alongside that. The Quest one was heavy as fuck, very weak hardware. I returned it. I think I ended up getting another Rift, to be honest with you. And then finally, I got the Quest 2 last year, which blew me away, simply being that fully hands-free, or obviously hands-free, or basically you can walk about with it. But it was a good bit more powerful, a bit more, I think it was a bit lighter, or else I ended up getting a head strap for it. But with yourself, Bobby, VR is going to blow your mind, honestly.
I'm excited.
Anyone you show it to, like anyone who actually tries VR that first time, everyone's just fucking blown away. The amount of people who try it and then go out and buy it, just,
yeah,
it's incredible. The problem that it has is it loses kind of that honeymoon phase, you know, with Oculus Quest. The problem I had with it was it's too fucking heavy to wear for a long length of time. What I'm hoping with the PSVR 2 is, yes, it has the cable, which is annoying, but you can, let's say I used to actually play on the Quest 2 with a lot of those guys. We used to play table tennis. And it was, you could play anyone around the world. You'd be better actually just getting a Quest 2 instead of buying a table tennis table, because you have someone to play with at all time. You save space. But it translates. So I actually went on holiday there recently and was playing table tennis. And I'd never played before, but I was able to play decent enough. No one actually beat me over the 2 weeks just from playing that. The problem that you would have with PSVR is you're most likely going to have in your living room. The good thing is, see, with that PlayStation, what you could just do is, I used to play my VR in my kitchen. Bring the PlayStation into the kitchen now, and you can just use a cable. And to be fair, it's going to be at least lighter no matter what. So I know that it's 11 table tennis that'll be coming to the PSVR 2, but I'm hyped for it. In terms of what the technology in it as well, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what other sort of PlayStation IP like make something of it. You know, the way we've got Horizon coming, like Spider-Man would, I don't know, they would fucking be sick playing that there if they made
there was a Spider-Man kind of demo on VR for the movie.
Seen that there, but excited to see what they do with it, what the IP they bring to it.
So if
they're going to commit to it, if they're going to go hard on it,
better. So
I'd like to think so.
Well, they did all right with PSVR 1, I guess, at the start.
It's expensive enough. It's 500. What is it, 530? You're paying for it. It's dearer than the console, so you would like to think they're going to fucking pump some decent games into it.
Well, I'd say
lots depending on third party, but I'd like to see what Sony do themselves.
Yeah. Well, they've got that Horizon, from what I've seen. Very good kind of feedback based on it. So main things from this headset, it's 2048 resolution, so that makes it the highest resolution VR that I've tried anyway, higher than the Quest and the Index. Eye tracking. This is quite interesting. You read much about that?
As far as I know, it's whatever your eyes are looking at, that's what's going to be rendered.
Yeah. Just, well, to that quality, that high resolution. So what you'll be able to do is get more graphical output from it. So higher frame rates at least, you know what I mean? So that's going to be phenomenal as well.
It's 120 FPS, isn't it?
Yeah, 120. Quest 2 was 70, and then they patched it for 90. This is 120. OLED, massive as well.
Yeah, big time.
Pure blacks. And then you also got haptic feedback on the headset itself.
It's going to be class. if everything that, like on paper,
Yeah.
actually translate to the actual device when you have it in your hands, I think it's going to be fucking amazing.
Mate, it's not even that. See if it fucking just being light. A light gaming headset or VR headset, it's going to be massive because that is the one thing that put me off with the Quest. It's just having a heavy headset. It's just, you can't play it for a length of time. I played Resident Evil 4 on it. It was fantastic. But anything past an hour, it's just melting it. I want to take it off. It wasn't comfortable enough. So no, PSVR 2, that'll be out next month. And what we'll do, Bobby, is we'll do kind of a review discussion. Obviously, you can maybe upload
We'll do our own wee review in progress.
There you are. You could do your unboxing for TikTok.
Yeah.
For anyone listening, there you go. You fucking expert, yeah.
Yo.
Moving on. This question's mainly for you, and we'll both discuss it though. Is this the year Xbox finally delivers games?
I hope so.
Okay.
And I think so.
Let's have a look. What are the big releases that you are thinking of? I'll go into mine.
Well, January. This isn't really a big one. This is an old game, but it's coming. A lot of people are excited for it. It's Age of Empires 2.
Yep.
It's coming the end of January. So first time being on a console. I'm excited for it. I know a couple of my mates are excited for it that don't have PCs. And then 4 is coming later in the year, but there's no date on that yet.
4 was out last year, wasn't it?
Last year, the year before. I've played it and it's really good.
I played Age of Mythology was what got me into those games.
And they are coming as well. They were announced.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, those games are phenomenal.
So, yeah, if they can get them, obviously, I'm expecting them, like Age of Mythology, to go on PC first. But to do what they're doing with the rest of them, bring them to the Xbox, I think that's going to be class for a lot of people. Because a lot of people can't afford a big, decent, PC.
Yeah.
What else? We got Redfall, which got delayed from last year into this year.
So here,
I'm excited for it.
Redfall, is it a co-op?
It's like a Left 4 Dead kind of game.
Ah, okay.
It's got your 4 people, and it's vampires. And I've said from the trailers, it looks good. It's Arcane. I know you're not a big Arcane fan, but I played Deathloop, beat it. I fucking loved it. Love the gameplay.
Fortunately, I'm not.
So I'm excited for it. Really excited. That's probably one of my most anticipated coming from Xbox next year.
We got Redfall. We also have, I don't know, let me ask you this one. Do you think Fable will release this year?
No.
Fuck me. It's Playground Games, isn't it? And devs of Forza Horizon. So they've definitely took their time. That was announced, what, 2021?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to, I think it may be next year. And that's a maybe. Or maybe even 2025.
Fuck me. So we've got that.
As far as I know, I think they were struggling with development on it. I think they're using, is it Turn 10's engine? I think that's that's a lot of games are being held back at the minute because Microsoft's wanting them to use their in-house engines rather than using like Unreal. So they can't get a lot more people in that use the engine. If it was Unreal or something like that, there, that's quite common. So a lot of people know how to use that, how to code for that. So when they're using their own in-house engine, it's quite difficult. So that kind of halts development. Yeah. But no, I think it's going to be 2024, maybe even 2025 before we see Fable.
That is a game. Fable 2 is fucking phenomenal. We've got Fable, we've got Redfall. Fable's obviously going to be 2020. Fuck knows. What else have you written down?
Got the big one, Starfield.
Don't know how I feel about this one.
No, yeah. See, I think everybody has a Bethesda game.
Skyrim.
And I don't know if everyone has either Skyrim, you've got a Fallout, and you've got one that sort of you first played and that maybe sticks with you. For me, it would be Fallout 3. So I don't know how this one's going to go.
Looks a lot like No Man's Sky parts when they were started doing that, and that kind of put me off.
It did. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to give it a go. And if it'll either click or it doesn't. I'm not really excited for it, to be honest. I know a lot of people are.
Do you feel like it'll compete? Let's say Starfield. Do you think it could compete with any of PlayStation's first party?
I think it's different. Completely different game. Will it be a Game of the Year contender for this year? Yeah. I think so.
I'm
Will
going
it
to
win
listen
it?
back to this when it's out.
Will it win it? No.
Cyberpunk vibes.
I don't know.
It's just traumatized me, to be honest. I don't trust anything.
Bethesda games are notorious for being buggy at launch.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it depends how buggy. Is it going to be silly bugs where someone falls through the fucking roof or something, or is it going to be game breaking bugs like Cyberpunk was, or unplayable?
That's the concern, isn't it?
It's a big one. It's anticipated, but it's not anticipated by me, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we've got Redfall, we've got Fable, obviously we've got Starfield. Forza 7? Is it Forza 7?
I think it's just being called Forza.
Oh, is
No,
it? They're
Forza
just kinda
7.
doing it.
Forza 7's alright. So it technically would be Forza 8, but I think they're just kind of doing like a rebrand or a reboot. And it's just Forza, and it looks fucking phenomenal. Turn 10 don't miss like on them.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
They're-
Like in terms of that, but then once again, it's like, right? Is there? Do you think there's something that we don't know about that's gonna be fucking massive? Do you think they're gonna have like a AAA phenomenal game on the level of Uncharted, The Last of Us, or even fucking Spider-Man?
Do you think Hellblade is going to be that game?
No,
You don't think so?
no.
No, yeah.
I don't think it's the commercial success of it. I've played the first to a certain degree. It's good, it looks good, but I don't think it's gonna be. They all have that vibe. Do you know what I mean? It's like Plague Tale has that vibe. They're gonna be well reviewed, but they're not gonna be.
A big like critical success.
It's not gonna be like fucking here Spider-Man. You know, go out and buy your Xbox now.
The thing is, it might be critically loved or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's like, are the consumers gonna go and buy it like a God of War or like a Spider-Man? I don't think so. It might hit this year. Hellblade 2.
That's what I need. I need something that's
kind
like,
of rumored to come around September time, which means like I think Avowed was getting pushed back the next year. So I don't know. I played the first Hellblade, but I wasn't really a fan.
UE5, isn't it? The new one on?
It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
The last trailer they showed, I think it was the Game Awards last year, maybe. It looks stunning, but then people are just saying that's just a CG trailer, like it's not really gameplay.
This is the problem. So we've got that. There's no point delving too much into Forza. Forza's Forza. You know what I mean? Really,
Forza.
You know, be talking talking about Gran Turismo, and they're good games, but they're not exactly what I'm gonna personally go out and buy a console for. So, is there anything? Obviously, you're the expert. I can't see Coalition making a new Gears this year.
I can see Gears being revealed.
Yeah, revealed. Yes. I don't see it coming
maybe a year out whenever they reveal it. If they stick to the same thing they done last year, whereas everything you see is coming out in the next, was it 12 months? 6 months? Keep to that. Minecraft Legends. I'm looking forward to it.
Minecraft Legends? I'm not too familiar with this. What's that?
So it's like a new one from the Minecraft world, and I have notes on here. Let me just check. Kind of like a action strategy game. I don't know what it is, but it looks good.
I've probably seen a trailer for this and just completely forgot about it.
It's multiplayer and all, and you team up with your mates and battle against like the Nether people and stuff like that. But it looks good.
Right.
And I loved Minecraft Dungeons, so
I know you did.
Really, really loved it. So that's one to watch out for. It's all available on everything, like, but obviously Game Pass day one. You have to pay for it if you're on PlayStation.
Well, lucky thing about a Series X, isn't it?
State of Decay, I'd like to see something this year. I'm a big fan of the State of Decay games.
I tried 2. I didn't get too much into it, but obviously you've got 3. I'd like to see what they're doing there.
All we've seen there is a CGI trailer.
In my opinion, the only thing that what Xbox need to do, in my opinion, is they can't just keep doing more of the same. You know, a bit of an unknown game. Or not an unknown game, but just another game that just ticks along. You know, you need something that's literally like, go fucking buy an Xbox now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they're hoping that Starfield is that.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You haven't written this one down. I'm going to mention it. Indiana Jones.
Do you think that's coming this year?
Do we not think it's coming this year? Definitely not. Although they've had some time. So if you think what that was, their last game, Wolfenstein 2018. This is fourth. This is coming into the 5th year of no game. Like, fuck me. So you would assume they are somewhat well into development, that it probably could come out this year if they want to keep their cards close to their chest.
There's a movie, am I right, coming out this year?
Yeah, there is.
So I would imagine that they wanted to have it out around them. But whether they do or not, I don't know. COVID's fucking played a big thing in obviously everybody's game development, but I would say they wanted it to come out around them to kind of boost that marketing for it.
So do you think Xbox will win this year?
I don't know, Spider-Man 2 is coming out.
No chance. Like, in terms of, you've got Spider-Man 2 there. You've got Spider-Man 2, PlayStation exclusive. You've got Final Fantasy 7 Part 2. Fuck knows what else. Do you know what I mean? All heavy hitters.
Final Fantasy 16.
16. Fuck me. Yeah. All the exclusives. This is what I mean. You've got these massive games coming out that are just fucking laying haymakers in the Xbox. Mental. But hopefully, look, I actually just hope good games come out. Don't fucking care where they come from. Just anything.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to move on. We'll let that sink in and maybe come back to that some other time once we've heard some news. We'll go on to the Switch. We'll not dwell too much on this, but Switch Pro, what are the chances?
I think we might see it. We might get an announcement for it.
Switch Pro or Switch 2?
I think it'll be a Pro. I think we'll want to keep the Switch train going.
Means the games have to support the Switch still.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm hoping to do. Like, I'm hoping it's going to be backward compatible. I would say it'll just be a higher res, like just a Switch Pro. Higher res, higher fidelity, higher frames, and hopefully backward compatible with everything else. Now, will the backward games run better? Probably not, because it's Nintendo.
Well, what most likely happen is they'll have more consistent frame rates just because it's graphical power, but they'll not be any games that have unlocked frame rates, for example. They'll probably hit their target, but similar to what the consoles do.
I'd like to see, because I tried that Breath of the Wild, and I just couldn't play it because of the frame rate.
My friend, you have a PC these days? I play Breath of the Wild 4K 60.
It's naughty.
It is naughty. It's fucking one good looking game. That is a game that took me a while to appreciate, to say the least. I had the same issue with Elden Ring, where it's kind of like, what way do I actually play this game? And that kind of stumps me sometimes, where it's like, do whatever you want. Sometimes I personally like, can you tell me what to do, rather than just run, just go wherever. I'm like,
that's what I wanted. Whenever I was playing Elden Ring, I was like, what the fuck am I meant to do here? I was texting you. I was like, then you were saying, try Dark Souls. But I ended up getting used to it and then just going around doing my own thing. But
I hate that. It's like, go wherever. It's like, well, no. I personally, like, so I'll actually get into it when we talk about Elden Ring, but I did kind of ruin myself with Elden Ring, where with what I did with Breath of the Wild, I used a map just to tell me where the shrines were. So the shrines are like little puzzles. I just did all them and did the main quest and was happy enough. I loved the game. Did stumble on things anyway. So with the Switch, I would have assumed if they're going to do a Switch Pro, they would do it with the release of Zelda.
Yep. That's what I was imagining.
I believe Zelda is May. So that gives us 5 months. There has been leaks of a Zelda console. Don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, I have.
But it's not a Pro.
No.
So that would tell me that there's no Pro coming.
Mm-hmm. It has to come soon. Because they're way behind in tech now. Way behind in tech. I know they're selling like fucking hotcakes like still. But for the likes of us that want to play them games in fucking higher fidelity, that's missing out on it. Because I'm missing out on them games. I'm not going to play them in 30 FPS. I'm not going to do it. I can't.
Well, you've got Cemu, the Wii U emulator. Nothing stopping you getting that booted up and having it go. Honestly, it's phenomenal. It's a game you need to play. And It is a very good game. The problem, obviously, that we're going to have is if it releases on the sequel releases and it's just 30 FPS. So that was my next question is, I'm very excited to see what they do with the next Zelda. But at the same time, I'm very concerned it's just going to be more of the same. So I don't know if you've seen the trailer. It's a lot of it's in the sky, but
yeah,
I almost don't know what they're going to do to going forward because the guy Ganon was defeated. Looking at the trailer, it seems that you're still in the same world, so I don't actually know how much they're going to reinvent the wheel. But are you big into Zelda games in general?
the only Zelda experience I've had was my 10 minutes with Breath of the Wild.
Fuck me. Zelda's very good. I actually got into Zelda quite late. I got the Wii U at launch. No, sorry, not launch, just after launch, and it came with Breath of the Wild HD. Not Breath of the Wild.
That's
it came
right.
with
Breath of the Wild
Wind
did come
Waker.
out in Wii U, though, didn't it?
That came out on Wii U. It was a launch game for Switch, but the Wii U that I bought came with Wind Waker HD. And it was one of those games, similar to you with Metal Gear. You always hear about it, but I've never played it. And then I just immediately right away, I was like, oh, this is a classic game. It's phenomenal. And then went back and played the series. So they are fantastic. So hopefully, I personally like the old approach, a bit more linear of the Zelda games. But I'm guessing this is going to be more of the same with the open world kind of approach. But we'll see. I will be looking forward to that as well. We've both put this down. Spider-Man 2.
Really excited for Spider-Man 2. Really, really fucking excited for Spider-Man 2.
Did you play the DLC for 1?
Yeah, all of it.
Played all of it. I replayed it.
100%.
I enjoyed Spider-Man the second time round more than the first. I think the problem
So did I.
The problem I had, I think I blasted through it for the story, and then you're kind of like, oh, that's it. Whereas once you know the story, you're just taking your time more. But it's a phenomenal game.
I love Miles Morales as well. That was fantastic.
Oh, it's a great game, yeah.
What do you think they're going to do with Spider-Man 2? Because we know Craven the Hunter's in it. We know Venom's in it. And we know that Spider-Man and Miles are both in it.
I think it's going to be jumping about. Just you'll control Miles a few missions, you'll control Spider-Man a few missions, and you will also play as Venom.
Who do you think gets the Venom suit on them? Because you know one of them's going to have to do it and you're going to have to fight them.
I don't know. So you're thinking one of the Spider-Man will be Venom?
Yeah. Not will be Venom, but we'll have Venom, the symbiote, on them at some point. And I think it's going to be Peter. I guess this is where Miles needs to step up again.
I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah. Most likely will be Peter than Miles, I would say, anyway. Do you think it's going to be a lot different in terms of gameplay wise, or do you think it's going to be more of the same where you have...
I think it's going to be more of the same, and which isn't a bad thing. Gameplay was fucking fantastic.
I liked it, but it didn't capture the feeling that Spider-Man 2 did when I first played that for some reason. Even though this is actually a massive improvement, I still, like, people say, oh, I could just swing all day. I was like, I don't know what happened, but I couldn't enjoy it as much as I did back on the PS2 with Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And what do you think they're going to redesign? You can't really redesign fucking Manhattan and New York, like, so I'm not...
That's the problem as well. You know, it's probably going to be the same location.
You think?
Which is kind of...
Wait, like, what do you do?
They have to, where else do you go? The story would have to bring it somewhere.
So you have, what, 5 years from 2018 Spider-Man? You've got the world already designed. So what do you spend a lot of the time doing? Because obviously the interior side of things isn't going to take too much time, you would assume.
See, that's why I guess it came with 5 years, but then obviously they pumped out Miles Morales as well on the remastered. So that's why I think it's definitely just going to be mainly the same location because they're just using assets they already have. They already have all the swinging mechanics and all that other kind of thing. So that's why they're able to pump them out so quick.
So do you think it's going to be more like Ragnarok, where it's kind of like a small step up rather than a whole redesign again and kind of pushing it forward?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't see them going too much outside the box because what they've done was really good.
Do you not find with games these days, like when you were a kid and you were playing games, you were finding new genres or things were doing stuff that were new? You don't really get that anymore. Like Breath of the Wild did kind of change open world games to a degree and was praised for it. and then Elden Ring kind of just did the same thing and was praised for it. But we don't. It's very rarely you do get surprised anymore. It's kind of just you know what you're getting for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Spider-Man's just gonna be more of the same. But
That's probably my most anticipated game. Like,
you think it's gonna be wait there? I just don't know. Is it coming to PS4?
I want to say no.
Right.
I don't think so.
Sure about that?
I want to say no. I'm going to stick with that.
Right. So if it's next gen only, is it going to look graphically better than even Miles Morales?
Yes. If it's PS5 only, yes.
What they're going to do there? Would you care if it just looked similar to Miles Morales? Would you be disappointed?
No, because you're not expecting like mind blowing stuff with Spider-Man, because it is like you are a superhero and a cartoony in a sense, but you're not expecting like fucking God of War Ragnarok kind of fidelity and all.
Yeah.
I would expect it to be better than Miles.
I just care about the frame rate. 60 plus, whatever.
It'll have 60. Sure, they had 60. What did they have? They had 60 when Miles came out. And I think a couple of weeks later, they passed 60 with ray tracing as well. And then they eventually got the 120.
Do you think they'll ever have much 30 FPS games come out this year or this generation? Or think they're done?
I think there'll be a few more.
Fuck me. Abysmal. Shouldn't be allowed.
No, shouldn't. So that's actually what put me off Gotham Knights. I was actually pretty excited for that. And I came out as 30 and I was like, I couldn't play it. Obviously, the PC and all, but I'm not a PC player. I don't like sitting down at my desk and playing the PC. I'd rather lie back on my bed or on my sofa and play the consoles. So that was a big fucking letdown for me.
These Batman games on PC as well. I remember City. I remember I remember Night. I think I got delisted from Steam at one stage. They're always fucking badly optimized. So the question there would be, is Suicide Squad gonna be 30 if Gotham Knights is 30?
No.
Are they using different tech?
I don't know. This one's Rocksteady. Suicide Squad's Rocksteady. The last one was the boys that done
Montreal.
They done Arkham Origins.
Yeah, is it Montreal? Is it? I think it might be Montreal. Yeah, they did Origins, which was actually fucking amazing. A great game. But that was back in 2013.
Mm-hmm. But no, I'm excited for the Suicide Squad. That's your man. What do you call your fella that done Batman? Kevin Conroy. It's his last one.
He voiced in it, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he voiced in it. That was released at the Game Awards there. So, I'm excited for it.
I'm trying to figure. To be honest, I don't even know what they're going to do. But yeah, that's something I am excited for. But they haven't really released too much on it. I've seen a few trailers, but that's CGI trailers. Have they given a date on that?
I want to say it's like April, May. I might check here.
That's a long time. That's what, 8 years? 2015 was when Arkham Knight came out. 8 fucking years.
Yeah.
So you're thinking those guys, this game's going to really try and change things up rather than just a bit of a graphical update with the same kind of gameplay.
26th of May.
26th of May? Not long. Mate, this year's going to be mad. So we've got what? This month, we've got Dead Space. Are you picking it up?
I don't know. I don't have a nostalgia or anything for the original, so I don't know. I'll maybe wait in reviews and see.
I might pick it up just something to talk about in the show to cover anyway. But you've got Dead Space, and then obviously we're off to fucking Hogwarts in January, and then what else is in February? Sorry.
We've got PSVR.
With PSVR.
There's a couple other fucking. There's actually a lot of stuff coming out in February, I think. Let me see.
This year seems to be a lot of great big games coming out. Last year was very tame overall. Like you only had a very select few. You had Elden Ring, you had God of War, Horizon to be fair. But
Horizon got just overshadowed by Elden Ring like it did with Breath of the Wild.
They have had poor luck with that.
Yeah. So February we've got Hogwarts, February 10th. We've got Atomic Heart. Have you seen that one? It's come
Russian companies
making
everything.
Yeah. It's coming February 21st.
Game Pass day one.
I think it is, yeah.
Also, Monster Hunter is this month on Game Pass, and Persona 4 Golden and 3 Portable.
Octopath Traveler 2.
Nah.
No. There's nothing else there. It's kind of big. January. We've got Forspoken's meant to be January. January 24th.
Forspoken was made by the guys who made Final Fantasy 15, which I really didn't like. So that's really put me off. And plus, I've heard mixed things.
The demo hasn't got a great reception at all.
I'll wait and see on that one. So what we'll kind of tie this topic up with is just one more game we're going to talk about. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that you maybe haven't wrote down that's kind of came to you?
I don't think so. I'm looking through this list here to see if there's any biggies. Got Star Wars Jedi Survivor in March. It's going to be a big one for me.
Yeah. Have you finished Fallen Order?
Yeah.
What would you rate it? Like
7.5 out of 10.
7.5. Yeah, I'd be roughly the same. Good, not great. They've turned that around quite quickly, haven't they? What, 3 years, 4 years?
There's that needs a couple of improvements need to make. I think it was really buggy at launch. Frame rate and stuff was all over the place, and reading the map was fucking awful.
Jesus, I actually finished that this year. There's another game I was actually thinking about what games to beat. Yeah, I beat that this year, but I had played it at launch. But I'll be interested. I bet you right now that's going to be a huge step up.
Yeah,
Respawn know what they're doing.
Yeah, Respawn do know what they're doing. Dead Island 2 is another big one for me.
I actually was listening to a podcast about this. So 3 studios. The third studio, they made Homefront Revolution. It's the last studio they made it. The last game they made. I don't have any faith. None whatsoever.
I don't have any faith either, but
you could be surprised. You could be surprised. The last one I wrote down and we'll cover. I know you, and I tend to ask you what your history is with everything because it's just kind of get an idea. But Diablo 4, I reckon Diablo 4 is going to be fucking massive.
Yep.
Now, you've played a bit of Diablo 3 upon my request.
Yeah.
Do you seem to be a fan?
I loved it. Yep. So yeah, my first kind of step into Diablo was actually Minecraft Dungeons, because I didn't know that was kind of the style until me and you were talking about it, and then you told me about this play Diablo because it was pretty much the same as Minecraft, and I played. I think I'm a couple of hours in on Diablo 3. That's fucking class.
Yeah,
love it.
Diablo 4 looks a massive step up as well. It's a bit more like 2 in terms of aesthetics, but it's a bit open world as well. That's something that definitely I'm going to be getting 100% co-op. Yep. But I think we'll love that. I'm really looking forward to playing that. Diablo 3 was a great game. I remember playing that when it came to PS4. Put in a load of hours. Never got too into it. That's the only problem. There's a lot of replayability. People do seasons on it where you basically just keep playing the content but on harder difficulties and do ranks or whatever. Anyone who listens to this who does play Diablo just heard me butcher it. But I would be big into World of Warcraft this year. Like I said, that it does carry over a lot of kind of the same ideas and the way it works to a certain degree. Yeah. So Diablo 4, I think it's going to be fucking massive.
I think it's going to be class. The reviews, the previews that we're doing there, all were really positive about it.
Yeah, I was watching a few things and I was watching people talk about it. Just the open world side of things, it looks really good as well. I need to kind of watch more on it, but I have faith in it. This will be grand on that.
Yeah. And it could be day one Game Pass if the Activision deal goes through.
Should be day. I thought oh no, that's right. It hasn't went free yet. Oh fuck, I'm thinking that was.
A couple more countries that are approved in Chile and stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Be interesting to see. I think there's people that have billions of dollars $1 billion bet on. Like it's like $3 billion bet that was going through.
Fuck me. 5% of what the actual fucking deal is.
Mental. It'll go through. Like they're hoping it'll go through before March.
I hope it does, simply being that I want kind of a revival of Crash and Tony Hawk's. It's ridiculous.
I want to see a Spyro 4.
Did you play the collection that was released back in, 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to give them a go. I actually bought them for Logan and all, but they're sitting there. Love them games though.
Yeah, class. So that's what I'm hoping. I hope it goes through and we'll get to see some of them older franchises come back.
Yeah. So look, that'll do. One last thing, and probably the most important question to wrap up 2022. My opinion, it hasn't been a great year for games. I don't know, you really probably disagree. Notable shout outs for myself as what's been the best game of the year. I would shout out probably what would be my favorite, but I'm not going to rank it. Would have been Uncharted 4. Legacy of Thieves, whatever it's fucking called. The collection that came out in January. I adored it. But I'll let you start. What, Bobby, has been the best game of 2022?
Have fun. I think my number one, I'd have to go with Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal. In every way.
I probably have to agree with you. As a huge Dark Souls fan, wasn't too big into Elden Ring. Like I said earlier, I basically spoiled myself with Elden Ring. I played it, in my opinion, probably wrong.
Yeah.
Put up a map of all the dungeons and just did everything. So a lot of that is reused assets, kind of reused dungeons. So it felt like if you ever play Bloodborne, there's a thing called Chalice Dungeons, which it just felt like loads of those. So I just felt like I was doing a tick box exercise and just didn't enjoy the game for what it was. If I get to like kind of race my mind, mate, I would love to do that. But I know everywhere everything is now by memory. The parts of it that I liked are the parts that are they're called legacy dungeons, the parts that would be in Dark Souls, for example. It's a great game, but in my opinion, Ragnarok, even though I wasn't as big into it as you were, I think it definitely is game of the year, hands down.
Yeah, 100%. I was close like for Elden Ring, but I think it's just because I have such a, what's the word? Fondness.
Mm-hmm.
God of War, that it takes it over. Because Elden Ring was fucking phenomenal. I got the platinum. I got the 1000 Gs on Xbox. I loved it.
I just think the thing with Ragnarok is it's too long. There's sections that
I thought it was short.
The story, like even at that, I think I put like 20, 30 hours in just going through the main story. And this
I
is what
think I was 20, maybe 24 hours in. I planned it.
See, this is what I mean. Anyone who's listening to this, I have a problem with playing a game and just wanting the story and just maybe forgetting about everything else. So with Spider-Man 1, I would have said when I played Spider-Man 1, 8 out of 10. Meh. Replaying it, I'd be like, oh, it's a 9.5. So I know I kind of talk shit on God of War to you, being like, oh, it's not that good. I just probably need to replay it. Not now, it'll be a while, but even playing God of War 1, I didn't enjoy God of War 1 as much, but I think the story in God of War 1 with the reveals kind of meant more, whereas it ended on a big kind of, what the fuck, with Ragnarok, maybe not so much, just kind of, this is what's coming next, hopefully. But it's good. It is very good. The combat got a bit old for me. The problem is, mate, we did play it on easy. When I did have it on hard, it was a bit more challenging, and it was kind of maybe I should have done that and continued. But maybe if I'm going to up the,
you have to do a replay again. Do you maybe go up the harder difficulty? Well, I would anyway because I've done everything. I think I would maybe go up the harder difficulty because I actually got quite good at the combat, mixing all the weapons about. Actually, I must send you some videos because I've got some clips. That's just blending everything in together.
So me and Bobby play a lot of our games on easy. The problem I have, to say this, when a game is on hard, typically what they do is they just say, they hit harder and they have more health. So it's boring for me. Whereas if you think of Dark Souls, it's just you're given that difficulty, or Elden Ring. So it's not that I dislike hard games, it's just I get lazy and just want to blast through the story. I think that's maybe what happened with God of War Ragnarok.
I don't have the time to go really hard anymore.
You do though, if you
got
you
work
do
now, like
if you want to,
if
you
I did, I wouldn't play as much though. Wouldn't play as many games.
You wouldn't fucking play Elden Ring twice, the platinum on both fucking platforms, you hitter.
Hard game.
It is a hard game. Tell him you cheated though. Tell him the truth.
Didn't cheat. There's nothing wrong with being a fucking magic wizard.
Okay, Gandalf. But no. What do you think? What do you think for the future of God of War? Where's it going to go next?
Fuck. I don't know. I would like to see a smaller game, similar to Miles Morales style, maybe with Atreus. What he's went off to do.
I think they will do that.
I think that would be perfect. And then give them time to do like a full on another one. But that's where I would like to see it go. Give me something in between the next big one.
I think they will. I definitely need. I'm going to replay Ragnarok. I don't know when, but I'll replay it and do a lot of the side quests because I did tend to skip them because I just wanted to know what was happening. That kind of ruins things as well.
Some of them were class.
Yeah. A lot of people
Really,
did big
really
them up,
good.
saying they're the best side quests in any game.
Yeah, it's not Witcher level. Like everyone was saying, Witcher level. It's not that level, but they are really good. Some of them bring a lot of context to the main story as well that you're missing out on.
Another game that I think I should maybe go back to is Horizon because they've beat one. I don't like the world, I'll be honest. I don't like the whole tribal setting. I don't like the dinosaurs. It's a good looking game. It runs well. The side quests from what I played were interesting, but that's probably a game that I think if I did play, I may like, but that's one that maybe could have stood out that I didn't really give much attention to. You've never played any of them, have you?
I think I played the first one when it came out for, I don't know, maybe about 10 hours.
Yeah,
and then I
similar.
fell off it just for work and stuff like that. But I haven't installed. I do want to play it. I actually thought of it yesterday when I was watching the Avatar. Just the kind of, it must have been the world or something. All the CG or something. I don't know, something about it just put Horizon in my head that I wanted to play it. So got it installed.
Yeah. So here, moving on, you're going to play The Lost Legacy. If you enjoy it, what's next? Then you're going to go back and play all the Uncharted.
If I enjoy it, I will.
Are you in the mood for that type of game?
No.
Okay.
No. So I might finish Lost Legacy and then leave it for a while and move on to something else.
I think. Wait, what are you in the mood for?
Do you know what? I started playing Cult of the Lamb again.
Oh my, come on. What about Sifu or Devil May Cry?
I'm hoping Sifu goes on sale again, and I'll definitely know it this time.
Yeah, I think you would like Sifu if you're in the mood for and actually you will love Sifu. I just know you.
I know. I think I will. I think I really will. I can get it for like 16 quid on Epic at the minute, but I'd rather have it on the PlayStation.
You stream it? There you are.
I'll just do the clips, you know.
Oh, okay.
Do
Keep
some
an eye
piggy
out
talks.
for that. There you go. So look, that'll cover it. First episode. I think we got a bit of background and kind of obviously what we do, what we enjoy, what games we play. A bit more about 2022. Anything that you feel like we missed, Bobby, that you want to cover?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, next week we're going to be back with sort of the first proper show, really.
Yeah.
Covering the news. We're going to kind of get the news bit by bit every day and pick it up and gather it up and sort it all out for next week. Do a full episode on it and then see what else we've been playing, what we'll get up to.
Absolutely. So look, to kind of wrap things up, if you like what you hear, obviously like the podcast, subscribe to it on Spotify. It'll also be on Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on YouTube at Ready Up Pod. Any questions, send them to readyyuppod@gmail.com. And anyone who has TikTok, you can follow us there as well at Ready Up Pod. Maybe I already said that. Did I say that?
Not sure. But also, if you're on like Spotify or anything, make sure you go to the ratings and give us a good rating if you like it.
Absolutely. So look, goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.